This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rajni Jain on behalf of agricultureinformation.com. I'd like to welcome you all to this online meeting. Please take a moment to review the guidelines for this online meeting posted in the chat window. I now request the moderator, Mr. Lakshmipati, to introduce the speaker and start the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rajini. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lakshmipati. I will be moderating this meeting. Agricultureinformation.com likes to welcome to this meeting Mr. Rajendra Kumar, the Business Development Manager for South and East Asia for Gravo Equipment Limited, Canada. Mr. Rajendra Kumar will be speaking on the topic profitable vegetable cultivation in tropical humid regions. I now request the speaker to begin.
Namaste and good afternoon, all of you. Thanks, Lakshmipati ji and Rajni for the introduction. So I will be speaking now on a very important topic, profitable crop production in the tropical humid climate. So I have made a slight change. Instead of only talking on the vegetable, so I thought that let's cover all the crops in this region. So,
and you are all not on camera, Mr. Rajendra Kumar.
Okay,
we are not seeing.
Just a minute. Yes. My slide is visible now. Next.
Yes.
Next slide is visible. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So let me give you the overview about the humid tropics. These are the region where the very resource-rich lands, and they have adequate power supply and fertile land and favorable terrain, just like Western Ghat, Eastern Ghat, and Assam. And they vary from lowland to actually highlands. There are different topographies. So you can see here in the picture also. But the climate is very warm and humid in this region because rainfall takes for a longer duration, and it's also very heavy. So, and this area has a proximity to the equator also. If you see the Western Ghat, Kerala region, or Eastern Ghat, and Andaman Nicobar also. So, but the issue is their availability of land, because vegetation is very dense in this region, and so farming land is you will find either on the slopes or in the valley areas. So typical characteristics of humid tropics is that this region has a high temperature and very high rainfall. And temperature means that average temperature above 20 degrees Celsius, and precipitation above 200 centimeter, means that more than 2000 mm per annum. So this region doesn't have any winter, and except in the highland like Uti, Kodaikanal, or Mahabaleshwar area, where you will find some cool climate. And diurnal temperature variation also very less here in this region. So, but you will find the cloud cover, especially during this day, that if you visit to Cochin area, so you will find that almost cloudy weather condition for many days. So this is a typical characteristic of this region. So you can see the map here. You see this the red area. If you see my cursor, these are the Western Ghats, Konkan area, then now Eastern Ghats region, and up to Assam. So this whole, even Andaman Nicobar also, Andaman Nicobar here, and these. So this region has a very most of time high rainfall, high humidity, temperature also high almost throughout year. So I will be focusing mainly on the protected cultivation because that is my field actually. So you know that in open field cultivation there are a lot of issues. So that's why that I am actually giving all these deliberations mainly to focus on the protected cultivation, so that people may understand to have a appropriate technology for a appropriate climate. So as I have already explained that in this region that you have a high temperature, high humidity, so very problematic that cause the problem to the crops. And this high temperature normally it it lead to the more vegetative growth, larger leaf area, and sometimes aversion of the fruit also, and sometimes it kills the plant also. And there are a lot of fungal and bacterial problems, especially during these summer and rainy season. Pest incidence is also very high. So normally the greenhouse people who are looking for a protected cultivation, so they are looking for a land on higher elevation, just like Uti, Kodaikanal, or you can say the Mahabaleshwar also. So in this region, actually, if you are putting up a greenhouse, so that must you have that control on the temperature, humidity, and you have to keep your insects out, and also that it's a very important part, that very good training to the growers also. So what are that available technology in this region, and what is the best? So although that I do not want to that you can't replicate each technology for a every climate. So every technology has a advantage as well as disadvantage. So polyhouse is best for the mild climate like Bangalore, Hosur, Pune, Uti, Mahabaleshwar, but it has a problem in peak summer when temperature very high and humidity, and also during rainy season also, because you have a high temperature, high humidity that causes a lot of fungal issues. So it's very difficult to manage in a cover type of structure. Net house is a very best for the spring season or summer also in the plain area, but not good for rainy season or at the higher elevation. Fan pad is a very good for small operation. If you are putting up a small hydroponics projects, then it's a good, or even for a nursery raising or propagation of the planting material or hardening of the tissue culture material. So these structures are good, but operating cost is very high. If you are going for a large scale operation, then it's very difficult for you to manage that high operating cost. So moreover, that fan and pad is not very effective during the high humidity conditions, because evaporative cooling system, it works only when you have the difference in the humidity between inside and outside. When outside also you have a humidity more than 80-90%, then this system fails. So what is the best actually for this climate? So a retractable roof, they are actually becoming very popular in the last 4 or 5 years since I joined this company called Crabo, which is actually a leading manufacturer of the retractable roof production system all over the world. So in this system, that roof is not a stationary, it's a retractable. Means that when you have a ideal conditions outside, so you can open the roof. When you have a adverse condition, just like during daytime you have a temperature 35 plus, or you have a rainfall, or you have a wind speed, high wind speed, that, or you have a low night temperature, then you can close the roof. So I will share one brief video which will give you the idea that how this technology works. I think many of you has already watched it, but I will again play it. It's a very small video. Sorry.
Today, more people around the world than ever before are integrating fruits and vegetables into their diets. And as a result, retailers want to have stock available all year round. But there are several big challenges that growers like you are facing to meet this increasing demand. Extreme and inconsistent weather patterns result in inconsistent supply. Input costs are frequently rising faster than selling prices. And insects cause massive damage to crops at the same time as consumers demand that their food is produced with minimal chemicals. So for you, the challenge is how to have predictable and consistent supply when the weather is inconsistent. For 35 years, we've been working on the solution. Introducing the retractable roof production system, which creates a more consistent growing environment for farmers in warm and hot climates. When the weather is ideal, the roof will automatically retract, allowing the natural outdoors to come inside. When cold, rain, or hail comes, the roof will automatically close to protect the plants. And when there is high summer heat, the roof closes 80% to protect the plants from direct sun, while also allowing for ventilation and cooling. The system is very efficient, as it requires only 1 to 2 kilowatt hours of electricity per day, per hectare, and requires minimal water for cooling when temperatures exceed 35 degrees Celsius. Cravo houses are proven to resist damage from hail and major storms, such as hurricanes and cyclones. By working with Cravo, you can create optimum growing conditions year-round to produce crops with larger size, with higher yield.
So that you have seen that how the system works. So why I am stressing actually about this technology, because if you see that people in Kerala or in Odisha or in Assam, the consumer has a very they have to purchase a vegetable and fruits at a very high cost, because they are not a producer, they are actually consumer. So if you see that lot of vegetables are that exported from Karnataka and Tamil Nadu to Kerala, and also similarly from Andhra in Telangana to this region, Odisha. And if you see in Assam also, that a lot of vegetable go from the Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh to this region. So because sometime during the rainy season, you have a logistic issue like flooding and sometimes the disruption of the supplies, then the prices are very high actually in this region, especially during monsoon period. So if anybody is interested to put up a project in those regions, so they can harness the good profit. So let me show that which type of models they are suitable for this region. So flat roof is basically for dry climate, just like Rajasthan. So I will not talk about it. But all these models, X-frame, rafter house, A-frame, they are made for a high rainfall or high wind speed for resistance. So I will show one another video. It will show you that how you can option that how to manage the rainfall by selecting these models. So kindly go through this video.
Options for managing rain when selecting a retractable roof house. When choosing a house model and roof covering for a retractable roof greenhouse or cooling house, one of the critical factors is to determine how to manage rain when considering the local climate conditions, crop requirements, and house design options. To determine which house model and roof covering is optimal, one needs to consider 1. The potential damage to the leaves, flower, and fruit. from the impact of a hard rain. Number 2, the consequence of the entire plant getting wet, or just a portion of the plant getting wet. Number 3, the typical duration of the rainfall. Does it rain typically for several hours at a time, or does it rain continuously for many days in a row? Number 4, does it rain frequently during the harvest season when damage to the harvest would be greater? Number 5, the consequence of the soil getting saturated from a long heavy rain. How fast does the soil drain the rainwater? Does the soil contain more clay or sand? Could excessive soil moisture cause fruit splitting? There are 3 different options for how to manage rain when using a retractable roof house. Number 1, a peaked roof A-frame, rafter, and X-frame house that can shed rain to a gutter system. Number 2, a flat roof with a coated retractable roof covering that has drainage holes pre-punched into the covering on a grid pattern, allowing rain to pass only where there is a drainage slit. And number 3, a flat roof with a non-coated roof covering, which prevents the plant from exposure to the impact of a hard rain, but where the rain percolates through the woven roof covering, resulting in the complete plant canopy becoming wet. When selecting a peaked roof house, it is critical to be able to ventilate when it's raining. This can be done either by opening the perimeter walls, or if the house is larger than 1 hectare, then by installing a rain canopy on every 5th or 6th house. The house that has a rain canopy installed will only close 95% when it is raining to allow ventilation, and the rain canopy will collect the rain that comes through the 5% opening in the roof. When using a flat roof with a coated retractable roof covering, the drainage slits are centered between every set of 4 roof suspension hooks, so the drainage pattern will typically be located 45 centimeters apart in the direction of the black reinforcing tapes and 66 centimeters apart in the other direction. If the roof will not be exposed frequently to high winds, or there is no risk of hail accumulation on the roof when it is closed, then the grid pattern can be increased to 80 centimeters or 1 meter by 45 centimeters. When designing the crop spacing inside, one option is to space the crop rows so that they are located between the drip lines. When using the flat roof with a non-coated roof covering, the rain percolates through the woven roof covering, resulting in the entire crop canopy becoming wet. When the rain has stopped, the roof will automatically retract to allow the plants to dry off and the soil to dry out. While it is always desirable to be able to keep rain off the plants, not every crop can support the higher investment in a peaked roof house, so growers sometimes need to choose a retractable flat roof house. But to do so, they need to minimize the negative consequences of excessive water in the soil after a heavy rain. There are 4 strategies which can help prevent damage to the plant due to the volume of water reaching the ground. Number 1, grow crops in containers, since water can quickly drain from a pot or bag. Number 2, ground can be sloped to allow for fast drainage. Number 3, beds can be built up to keep rain away from the root systems. And number 4, underground drainage can be installed to accelerate removal of the accumulated rain in the soil.
So you have seen that rain plays a very important role while selecting any retractable roof model for a particular climate, because I have traveled a lot in the region of Kerala, Western Ghat, then Eastern Ghats region, and I have found that poly house is there because during these rainy season you can't grow the crop due to the temperature high and high humidity, and you have the algae problem on the roof also, because light is not coming to the crops. So that's the scene I have seen in Cochin area. So so that's why that retractable roof is a very good option for that reason, because even you have a continuous rainy cloudy days for 4 or 5 days, even then you can manage your crop by ventilating the crop, because you have a roof, although that if it is not raining, it's open. So when it is open, so you have a more ventilation area. So at least you can minimize the fungal and bacterial issues in the crop. And moreover, that algae problem that on the roof that actually hinder your the penetration of the sunlight to the crop. So that doesn't occur because our roof is moving. It's not stationary. Because when roof is moving, so algae growth is uh, uh, doesn't take place. I'm not saying that it doesn't occur. It occurs, but because when roof travel 4 or 5 times in a day, so then that algae that layer doesn't form on the roof. So there are four types of applications of the retractable roof. One is the greenhouse. If you are building up a retractable roof in Ooty, Kodaikanal, or higher elevation area above 2000 meter, then we call it a retractable roof greenhouse, because we are using the transparent roof overhead, because transparent roof, it allow more sunlight to enter inside, so it create a more heat inside than cooling. So the second type of application is cooling house. The most of area that in the coastal region or in the plains or in the valley areas, because you have a temperature is a main issue there. So you need a cooling type roof. So what we have, instead of transparent, we have a white roof on the top. So white roof that works as just like a cloud, or you can say the umbrella, so that create the shade for the crop. Then we have field covers, means that you have to cover any field area. It may be rectangle shape, it may be oblong in shape, or it may be whatever the shape and size of land. It may be 1 hectare, 10 hectare, whatever. You can cover any shape and size of the land. Similarly, for the orchard, actually, why I'm saying orchard, because there is a lot of scope for growing this Alfonso mango in the Konkan region, because it has actually due to climate change, so a lot of issues are coming up. Either sometimes the flowering is delayed, sometimes the spongy issue is taking place. So a lot of problems that are occurring. So you can manage those issues with the retractive roof structure. Or in the other regions like Mahabaleshwar or Ooty or Kodaikanal region, you can use berries, different type. Already that berries are grown on a larger area in Mahabaleshwar. But if you want to extend your that berry season, or you wanted to have a larger size, good quality berry, then you need to have to adopt this type of technology. So I will be discussing more on this. But if we come to the eastern side, like in Andhra or Tamil Nadu or Odisha side, because the occurrence of the cyclones, or now that cyclones are also occurring in the Western Ghat region also, so that I will show you this video that how robust the cravo structure that it can withstand any cyclone. So this is a brief video. Live. ¿Y el baño? You can see that wind speed of 114 plus kilometers per hour taking place at and you see that because we have a stainless steel wire, and this plastic is actually below the wire, so there is a very less chance of being blown away. So this is a live video taken by our grower. when this cyclone is fully active in next. And we have the same issue 2-3 years back in Andaman also. Here we have a project that customer is doing a fungal. They have also all of a sudden that gusting wind of 140 kilometers per hour is at that place. And the structure, nothing happened to the structure, but a lot of other infrastructure that was around this structure that was blown away. So you can see this the live video taken by our people. So I will explain a little bit more about retractable roof greenhouse. So that as I told you that if you are planning a project in Mahabaleshwar, Ooty or Kodaikanal or at a higher elevation, then you can have this clear type of plastic over the roof, which will be actually which will actually increase your nighttime temperature, or even during the winter season that you have a lower temperature, then it will increase your temperature so that you can have a uniform yield. And this plastic it has actually life of 8 to 12 years, and sometime it lasts for 15 years also. So this is actually white cooling roof here. So if you are planning the project in the lowland, like in Hosur region or the other region of Tamil Nadu or Karnataka or even Andhra Pradesh or even Assam region also, then you can have this type of a plastic where you can decrease your daytime temperature by that 15 to 25 degree. I am talking about here the leaf temperature, not the air temperature. So that you can see that if even you can cover any field or any crop. So, and also in the sloping land also, that because normally you will find the orchard on a sloping land, so you can, without disturbing the topsoil, you can install this structure. So, and then there is an option of insect net also, because in some highly intensive growing areas, so you always have a chance of insect attack on the crops. So you can install the insect net below the roof. You can see here, this is insect net. It's a retractable also, just like roof. Means that it plays a double role. One, that it protect against the insects, and the other, it will also manage the humidity. You will be surprised how, because when we open this insect net and this roof, then you are having more ventilation area, so humidity will escape. But if you want to increase the humidity levels, like in the month of summers when there is no rain, then you can close this top roof, and you can also close this insect net. So you can, but we never close this 100%. There is always a 5% or 10% opening, so that exchange between outside and inside you can maintain. So in this way you can increase the humidity level also. So this is the temperature that you will see, that how we can reduce the temperature under the retractable roof. That is the major concern for most of people in the tropical region. So let's see that.
It is Saturday, June the 9th, 2012. And it is
Sorry.
It is Saturday, June the 9th, 2012, and it is 12:49 in the afternoon. And we are in the retractable roof greenhouse in Antalya, Turkey.
Here you can see there are
This house
two layers
design
of
has
roof.
a retractable
One is top layer,
transparent roof covering,
actually transparent,
and
lower one
a
is white.
retractable inside shading and heat retention curtain that is white in color in comparison to the clear roof. we're going to check the impact of the different roof coverings and the direct sunlight on soil temperatures. So first of all, we're going to measure in the shade because it gives us a good approximation of the air temperature since the post is not in direct sunlight.
So you
So the
can
air
see that
temperature is
air
34
temperature
to
is
35
35
degrees
inside.
Celsius. Now as we go under the two different roof coverings, we can see here that we are under the transparent roof covering, and the soil temperature at 12:30 in the afternoon is 44 to 46 Celsius. But as we move into the direct sunlight, we can see we're getting up to 63 Celsius, 65, 66
This is a surface
Celsius.
soil temperature, 66, 67 degrees Celsius.
And now we're coming into the shade from the white roof covering. And so in the sun, we're at 66, 67 under the direct sunlight. But as we start to move under the white plastic, we're going down to 42 degrees, 41 degrees, which is almost 25 degrees Celsius cooler under the.
So you have seen here that three cases, that temperature under the open roof, temperature under the white roof, temperature under clear roof, and that temperature is actually surface soil temperature. So you might have seen a difference between the direct that open area to the area under the white roof or area under the clear roof. There is a clear-cut difference that you have a better cooling temperature under the white roof. So now I will come to that what type of crops are grown in this tropical humid region. Actually, so this region is a very highly productive area that for farming. A lot of crops, you have a field crops like rice, and a lot of plantation crop like coffee, tea, then this palm, the rubber tree, so many crops that grown in this region. So so I will touch only those high value crops where you can have a good revenue from a smaller unit of land. So berries had a lot of scope, as I have already discussed that a lot of berries are grown in Mahabaleshwar and Uti Kodaikanal area. So, but the only issue that availability of this berry, mainly the strawberry, is only from December, January, February, March. So because most of berries are grown in the open field, so there is a very less chance of having the extend the season of growing. But if you have a the protected cultivation structure just like this, so you can extend your season by 1 month or 2 months, or maybe even for 5-6 months also, depending upon the level of technology that you adopt there and the varieties chosen. So the advantage of retractable roof that you can extend your harvesting season, you can shift your harvesting season. That if you are harvesting the berries, the strawberries, especially in the month of that November second half of December, then you will get a price of 800 or 1000 rupee kilo. But in the normal season, the price is something like 100 or 150 rupee kilo. So that's a huge difference if you can prepone your harvesting. So you can have a good quality of the fruit also, that larger fruit with the higher bricks level, and you can also reduce the inputs requirement like for labor, fungicide. It has been actually proven in one of our projects that fungicide use inside the retractable roof is 90% less as compared to the open field, and insecticide use is almost 60% less as compared to open field. If you are actually planning for a organic type of strawberry, then I think this is a very good option. And you can in the normal season also, that you can get a very good price for the organic stuff. And you are also reducing your risk of actually losing the crop, because you can protect your crop against all that adverse conditions of the weather. So next crop is a leafy and herbs. Lot of leafy and herbs, they are already grown in the Uti and Kodai Canal area. There is a organization called LEAF, LEAF. So they are already doing a wonderful job in Uti region. That they are it's just like a farmer producer organization. So they are actually collecting the produce from the farmer and retailing in their own network in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and other regions, even Bengal also. So only thing that what I want to highlight here, same as just like varies that because in the open field you have a lot of losses of your produce. You can prevent that losses if you have a actually protected type system of growing. So even that the number of crops that in the protected structure, that you can have a 8 or 9 crops per annum, whereas in the open field you have a 2 or 3 crops. So and yield also 4 or 5 times higher than the open field. So we have already the project, similar type of project in the similar climate in Pattaya, in Thailand, in Florida, in USA also, because those are the area where you have a high temperature, a high humidity. So even if you are anybody planning a project in Cochin or in the eastern coast or western coast, so Cravo can offer a very good solution for that climate, even for Kolkata region also. So tomato actually once the monsoon starts, then prices of tomato and other vegetables, they go very high. So I have been in Kerala when that flood occurs. So then I saw that the price of tomato has gone to under 50 rupee kilo. So and you can see that if you have a project in these climates, so you can grow the tomato for 6-7 months in a year. So there is a good scope because when this type of disruption comes due to climate, so you can harness that by having the crops by selling at a premium price. So normally that tomato that grown in a greenhouse, it is an indeterminate type of tomato or semi-determinate type of tomato that has a longer you can height. You can say that indeterminate tomato that goes up to 30 foot in height. So these are called the vine. That's why these are called the vine crops also, because you can grow them just like a vine. So then you can extend your season that for 7-8 months, and yield that normally that our grower in the similar climate zone, they are taking a yield of something like 40-45 kg per square meter for a Roma type tomato, which we normally use for the table purpose. And normally in the open field it is just 8 or 10 kilos, so you can have a 4 or 5 times higher yield inside the retractable roof. Similarly, the cucumber also, that in the open field you have either 1 cycle or 2 cycle maximum, that in some region, but under the retractable roof you can have a 3 or 4 cycles of a cucumber, especially during actually Ramadan months, when I've seen that the prices in the Kerala goes very high, and most of those cucumber that comes from the Karnataka and Tamil Nadu region, and prices goes almost double, triple during Ramadan months. So if anybody is planning a project during those months, because all these regions, there's a lot of that population of that Muslim in Kerala, in West Bengal, in Assam also, and these holy months that the good consumption of these fruits and vegetables. So prices are always high. So anyone can plan target a particular season or particular window of harvesting when they can get a good price for that. Similar, the sweet pepper also that you can in a greenhouse or in a retractable like system, you can grow the crop for 8 or 10 months. Normally it is in the open field you can have 3-4 months, and yield is also very low in the open field. But when you grow in the system like Cravo, then you can have a 25 kg per square meter for the green and 20 kilo for colored per square meter. Normally it is 3-4 kilo in the open field. And moreover that you can have a very good firm fruit and shelf life, that increase the shelf life of the fruit. So you can keep that fruit for 14-15 days or even more. Flower and ornaments, already a lot of flower projects are there in Pune region, then in Uti region also, that a lot of carnation, then roses, they are grown in that region. And if you are planning a project for a export oriented, then I think then you can have a better choice. Although that lot of projects, they are people are growing under the polyhouse and they are doing very well also. But during the month of these months, then you have a lot of fungal issues, so you have to spray a lot of fungicide in this, especially this on the roads. So, but you can prevent that problem in a retractable roof because when in the retractable roof, a roof open and close as per your weather condition. So when the roof opens, so it dry your leaf or plant, so it reduces the problem of the fungal. Nursery has a very good scope when you wanted to have a actually good ratio between root and shoot ratio, so that you can develop naturally actually. And Cravo give a very good option for that you can ensure that optimum root shoot ratio under the retractable roof. And we have a lot of project in USA, in Australia, in Africa, South Africa mainly. So they are actually, basically if you see in Australia, so their local consumption is very less. They are exporting their planting material to Middle East or Japan or Korea or other countries. So because they need a plant, so which to be very hardy, because when you plant these transplant these greenhouse grown plants, so their mortality should be very less. So that mortality will be less only when you have a hardened plant, well hardened plant with a good root shoot ratio. So that you can get only in the retractable roof system, not in a conventional system. Nutraceutical is actually picking up very fast now after the COVID, that a lot of people are now looking for to grow the turmeric, ginger, moringa, ashwagandha. All these crops actually, if you see the European market or North American market, so there you can, if you are targeting export oriented projects, so you can get a good value of your produce. So already we have a project in Hyderabad, that is Simply Fresh. So they are growing all these crops. Their target is actually these developed country. Animal shelter is actually, it's a good option if you want to give a congenial environment to your domestic animals like cows or horse or goats or even pigs also. So you can see that just like you need a good condition for yourself, you can give the similar type condition to your animals also. So we have since last 6 years, we have executed project in South and East Asia. We have done first project with Namdhari seed in 2015 in Karnataka. Then second with a company in Thailand, they are growing the leafy. Then with the Dabur in Delhi, and then with a company called Aprilia, is one of the largest plantation company in the world. So they have replaced the existing fan-fed structure with the Crabo system for growing the eucalyptus plantation. Then we have actually DS group also in North India. So they have put up a project here in Brindavan, and now they are putting one of the largest facility for growing the berries in North India. Similarly, BIM simplifies that it is the largest, you can say that largest state-of-art project with the, you can say that precision farming project. You can say that they have introduced the Internet of Things also in all their growing operations, and that is the new all the latest technologies they have adopted there. So I can show you their video also. Then last that we have a triangle farm. They are actually growing capsicum and cucumber in Telangana. So they are doing a wonderful job, not only educating themselves, but also to all other people. You can find them on the LinkedIn. So I've already explained all these projects, so I will show this video that simplifies what they are doing.
In the vicinity of Hyderabad, Telangana, a 140-acre precision farm has challenged the norms of native farming. Simply Fresh, started with a vision for a healthy lifestyle, has been a pioneer in precision farming in India. It has set up Southeast Asia's largest plant factory. Producing fresh medicinal and aromatic plants for nutraceutical extraction with high percentage of alkaloids and flavorful crops for home consumption throughout the year. Aided by cutting-edge global technologies and driven by AI-based platform, Simply Fresh ensures a pesticide-free natural produce which produces 15 to 20 times higher yield compared to conventional farming. Where Simply Fresh is committed to food safety, hygiene, traceability of all produce. These plants are grown using precision farming techniques, soilless cultivation, right from seeding to harvest. An ambient environment in the germination chamber is created by controlled light, humidity, and temperature for better germination of seeds. At the early stage of plant growth, a conveyor system transfers germinated seeds to the nursery. A fully automated greenhouse shelters the different varieties of plants in an ideal ecosystem. AI-assisted multi-layered retractable roofs, climate sensors and fogging system help in filtering ultraviolet rays and maintain temperature and humidity in the greenhouse, maintaining a suitable environment for the crops all round the year. The farm management team uses different farming techniques based on plant profile. A man-made rainwater harvesting body spread across 6 acres with 100 million liters storage capacity ensures sustainability of natural resources. Through its proprietary software, Farm in a Box, that integrates artificial intelligence, assisted technology, and analytics, Simply Fresh monitors plants at every stage of its life cycle, called plant profiling, where it harvests each crop at the right time and produces a product that is perfect for the next stage. Nutrient dosing technique is used to feed the plants. Nutrients are mixed, reverse osmosis, and ultra.
So I'm cutting it short here. So because most of you have already watched this video. So that if you are looking for a very high-end product, or if you are targeting a customer high high-end customer or for the export-oriented of projects, then I think we have the solution for that. So thanks very much for having a patience and listening to me. So I welcome all of you to ask questions.
Thank you, Mr. Rajendra Kumar, for your presentation. I now request participants to ask their questions. We'll also be posting the speaker's contact details in the chat window so that if we don't have time to take up all the questions, the participants can contact the speaker separately also after the meeting. Now, participants, anybody has got questions? Mr. Krishna Rao. Mr. Krishna Rao to ask the first question. Mr. Krishna Rao, you heard me, please? Your mic is on. You are ready with the question?
No, I don't have any question. Sorry for it.
Your mic is on. Okay, right. Any other questions? Other participants? Miss Sabrina John, Professor Rati, Mr. Jayaraman. Okay, I look for questions in the chat window. Let's see.
Okay.
Yes, no questions there. Maybe they'll come up with questions later and direct all their questions to the speaker separately. Speaker's contact details have been given already in the chat window. So the participants can note down and send the questions to the speaker. Okay, that is all we have for today. I'd like to thank Mr. Rajendra Kumar on behalf of Agricultural Information for taking his time to speak with us. I now request the meeting, Mr. Rajendra Jain, to please close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati. I'd like to thank the speaker, Mr. Rajendra Kumar, for taking the time to talk with us. I also like to thank all the participants for their time. The meeting will now be closed.
Thank you.